Welcome back. Floods continue to cripple the IT capital of the country, turning the infrastructure into a death trap, claiming one life. A 23-year-old woman named Akila was killed after she touched a live electric pole while crossing a flooded road in Siddhapura on Monday night. She succumbed to her injuries while she was being treated at a hospital. The life of the common Bengalurean has been hit hard as offices, shops, hospitals, schools, colleges have been paralyzed by the floods. Business are unable to operate, people are unable to move, access to essentials has been hampered, and children are unable to go to school. All of this has been created by decades of corruption, negligence, and poor urban planning. But Bengalureans are demanding answers as their taxes are going down the drain. The big question is, who has betrayed Bengalureans?
This is the famous IT corridor of Bengaluru, home to tech giants, startups and innovators. But after 3 days of heavy rains, it is underwater. Roads have turned into rivers, buses have been replaced with boats, and the so-called Silicon Valley of India is now a swampland.
You can see the complete outer ring road is waterlogged, and that's the kind of situation that has been created here because of the heavy downpour. The traffic police are trying to divert the traffic from here. They are requesting people to not choose this particular road to travel.
As always, it's the citizens who bear the brunt. Cars are submerged in the basements of posh housing complexes. Tractors are the only means of transport now, whether to rescue people or to take them to work. The civic apathy is taking a toll and also taking lives. 23-year-old Akila was struggling to ride her two-wheeler through knee-deep water. She lost her balance and held onto an electric pole but got electrocuted to death. While anger is growing against the Karnataka government for mismanagement and negligence, the Chief Minister is busy blaming his predecessors.
This is done because of maladministration and totally unplanned administration of the previous government, Congress government.
While the politicians pass the buck, the scenes that we've witnessed in Bengaluru in the last 72 hours have put the spotlight on the damage caused by unplanned development in the rapidly growing city. 500 stormwater drains have been encroached upon, and that has now left the city drowning.
Almost all the places where the water was stagnating and people were getting waterlogged, almost all of them are over. This is the worst affected area right now because the Raj Kalve is obstructed. We have started the removal of obstruction since morning.
So who has betrayed Bengaluru?
Let me take that question to Bengalureans who are joining me on News Epicenter this hour. Priya Rajgopal is founder of Heritage Beku and concerned citizen. Ramchandra, convener of Environmental Information System, and we also have Shekhar Vijayan, speaker and actor and a prominent citizen himself. Priya, once upon a time, it was India's Silicon Valley, also a city of lakes. Today, it's a sinking city where young are electrocuted because of water logging. Isn't this very, very sad state of affairs of a city which was so promising?
Yes, absolutely. But I don't think we have moved back from being promising. We will continue to be promising. We will continue to be the city of the future, the city of innovation, and all of that. Having said that, what is happening right now is cut across economic levels, whether it is a slum, whether it's a high-rise or an affluent set of villas. And I think what it's really exposed is great amount of frustration and anger, yes, which has always been lurking in Bangalore and its citizenry. I want to draw out one point from what you said, that who do we really blame, or who has betrayed Bangalore? while I don't think this is the space for pointing fingers, but we are really sick and tired of this. One group that has not betrayed Bangalore is the citizens. I think the citizens have done all they can in terms of partnering, in terms of going for, whether it's panel discussions, meetings with politicians, with government officials, bringing out where the issues are, which could lead to other problems. We've been doing this again and again. And in the last few years, particularly after the steel flyover, you've seen a rise in civic awareness, which is very high. So I am going to put very clearly on record that I think the citizens who have really, really been trying to be collaborative, been out there, taking their job as citizens very clearly, are
Yes,
not
you're talking about citizens, and we have, I'm also aware that you have started a petition on change.org as well.
Yeah.
Shekhar, there's a loss of life that we are looking at. It cannot get more shameful and shocking at the same time. And this is not a city which cannot handle its urban growth. This is Bangalore that we are looking at, and it was once upon a time a showcase city of the country.
Absolutely, absolutely. And ironically, Bangalore is the first city in India to receive electricity and use. And this is so this is so bad. I can't even express what I feel, because we just lost a human life, and that's what I'm saying. I think essentially the elected representatives, they need to take some really hard decisions, and we need to come back very strong at them. I think one is through the media, through the citizens, and here in Bangalore, because it's so cosmopolitan, and like you rightly said, this is a city which has everything, and it's so ironic and it's so sad to see somebody losing the life because of somebody else's negligence, which is pathetic. And strict action has to be taken. We should not take this lying down. And I strongly believe some heads needs to be rolled. Only then people do learn. But we've lost a human life, and there is no replacement for human life.
And Mr. Ramachandran, heads must roll, accountability must be fixed. I'm looking at this report, which is your study, which was titled Frequent Floods in Bangalore, Causes and Remedial Measures, which was submitted to the government. And you had highlighted that there has been 78% increase in Bengaluru's concretized and paved surfaces, leading to severe blocking of the drainage system. What happened to that report? What is the status?
Oh, well, not much has happened. But what we need to understand is that the changes in climate is happening. We need to accept that. If we don't wake up today, we are bound to face a similar situation again and again. What we faced last year, and this year it is more intense, and we are going to face this episode again and again. The problem of Bangalore is a fragmented governance. Too many parastate agencies, lack of coordination, and mismanagement of natural resources. The city, which was a garden city in 70s, with the 68% green cover, today the 85% of the landscape is covered with a concrete. See, we talk about development at what cost? If development is going to make the system insecure, we don't want such development. So we want a healthy system where everyone enjoy the system. When you look at the Bangalore topography, Bangalore has an undulating terrain. Taking advantage of undulating terrain, our elders have created interconnected lakes way back in 1800. We had 1,452 water bodies in an area of 740 square kilometers. Today, we have 193 water bodies. And most of these Rajakalways, the stormwater drains, are encroached. There are influential sections of the society have encroached the thing. Go to RR Nagar or any part of the city where influential sections of society are there, they have encroached the thing. And the dumping of solid waste is happening. Encroachment of the lake bed and the Rajakalways are the root cause for the flooding. Had those been addressed, then probably we would have minimized the damage what is we are facing today. That's what has to happen. When rain happens, flood happens, we discuss about it, and after that everyone conveniently forgets, and the people who matters, they start blaming each other. The blame game should end. Now we want the solution. We want our children to be secured.
Yes.
The Bangalore requires the secure system. That is where we need to work. Bangalore being the knowledge capital of India, We should have taken advantage of the kind of the scientific experts and the kind of a innovative thinking happens even in the common man. We should have taken advantage of that. So what Bangalore has to do is to rejuvenate the lake on priority. If we rejuvenate the lake, we could have retained the 15 TMC of rainwater in the normal rainfall. Bangalore requires 18 TMC of water, so that at least the 70% of water requirement we would have met.
But Mr.
And
Ramachandra,
apart from that, unfortunate
when we
calamities
look at
associated with the flooding and other
indiscriminate
things.
construction, rampant corruption, disastrous engineering, all this seem to have let down Bengaluru and left Bengaluru to drown. My question then to you is, how do you fix it now after having fully understood where the problems are? It cannot be that, those who work in IT city take boat to their workplace. And then the Chief Minister talks about that if the offices are shut, then he can look at some kind of compensation. I mean, that's really not the way forward.
Well, either the compensation or the blame game will not help. What we need to do on priority is we need to remove all encroachments without any mercy. I think judiciary also has to chip in and help in that regard. And second thing is that we need to re-establish the interconnectivity among the lakes. And we need to rejuvenate the lakes on priority. If we do that, Bangalore will get back the glory of the, the maintaining the microclimate and also having a sufficient water. See, Bangalorean, 40% of Bangalorean depends on the groundwater. Groundwater is depleting with not much infiltration happening in the system. We need to do all this thing on priority. First and foremost thing we need to do is decongest Bangalore. Enough of this concretization. We don't need any more industries in Bangalore. Let us look at the whatever we have. Let us manage it more effectively.
And is it also that you don't need more people in Bangalore? Because, Priya, we have also seen certain very sharp tweets come in from Bengalureans who say that why should outsiders keep coming to our city, and that's the reason why there is overpopulation and encroachment. They are blaming it on outsiders.
I think that's a specious argument, and I think we should move away from that. Bangalore has never been anything else except a very warm and accepting place, and as much of a cosmopolitan city as anything else, and I think perhaps the most that we have. We have grown and we have developed and we've actually prospered because of our, our mixed group of people that exist. But I want to move on to a point which you've mentioned. I think pointing fingers, there's just that feeling of frustration that makes it happen. I want to share two things that
quickly,
have come to my mind.
Yes.
One is in a symposium on sustainability a couple of days back, I made a very grandiose statement saying that Bangalore has really moved from being consumers to citizens, and now we're moved to being custodians. So consumers to citizens to custodians. I feel at this point and this level of frustration that all of us are going through, watching what's happening to our fellow citizens, that maybe it's time for us to move back, because enough and more work has been done by citizens, especially in the last 5 or 6 years. We need to move back to being demanding consumers. It's a sad state of events, but there it is. The second point is, as far as the great respect for our government folk, for politicians, I'm sure that they all are trying their best. But I think we're sick and tired of the alphabet soup that has put us all into a soup and is drowning us. Whether it is the BDA, the BBMP, the BESCOM, the BWSSB, the LDA, the list goes on and on. But at the end of it, the 5 letters that do not happen is SENSE, which is basic sense.
That certainly is the biggest word here when we look at citizens who are conscientious, who care about their city. Is that missing? Well, citizens have to be equally accountable while we look at putting the blame on the political class, and rightly so, because they have been chosen to take that position and take the blame at the same time. Priya, Dr. Ramachandra and Shekhar, thank you so much for joining us. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.